everyone, and welcome back to another Master Duel video. In this one, we're gonna take a look at Gem Knights. Before we begin the video, I just want to put out a small disclaimer that these videos do not aim to be the most comprehensive and complex guides out there. I try to cover as many decks as I can, so that means I don't get an infinite amount of time with every deck, meaning that I can't go too in-depth with every single deck. Now let's get into it. Gem Knights aims to FTK our opponent on the first turn of the game. And to that end, we play Black Garden, Lapis Lazuli, and Master Gem Knight Diamond. So Lazuli allows us to send a Gem Knight monster from our main deck to the extra deck and deal 500 damage for each special summon monster on the field. Black Garden, every time a monster is summoned, halves the attack of the monster and summons a token on the opposite field. So if we summon a Lazuli to our field, they get a Black Garden token, meaning we can fill up our opponent's board with Black Garden, use Lazuli's effect to deal somewhere in the ballpark of 4,000 to 5,000 damage. Then we fusion summon into Master Diamond. He can banish a Gem Knight from our graveyard until the end phase, get that effect, meaning that we can use the Lazuli effect again and then win the game. It's that easy. So let's get into the card by card. Lapis is required for Lazuli's summon, and we have some synergy in Unexpected Die and Rescue Rabbit to allow us to get those out, because we do need those to get into the Lapis Lazuli. The Lazuli allows us to, when sent to the graveyard by a card effect, for example our Lazuli allows us to add a normal monster in our graveyard and add it to our hand, meaning we can loop our Lapis if we send the Lazuli. Crystal Rose allows us to send a Gem Knight monster from our hand or deck. And then if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish one fusion monster from our graveyard to special summon it back for more materials and more damage on Lazuli. We play Emancipator Researcher, as it is a level 2 tuner and allows us to extend, and it can special summon itself. The tuner part is kind of important because we can take a level 3 and a level 2 and go into Garden Rose Maiden, allowing us to search Black Garden outside of terraforming and the 3 copies that we already run. Brilliant Rose can special summon itself by discarding a Gem Knight, so it's an extra monster, and it allows us to send a Gem Knight from our extra deck to the graveyard, meaning we can set up Lazulis for our Master Diamonds. Gem Knight Obsidian, if this card is sent from the hand to your graveyard, we can special summon one normal monster in our graveyard, meaning we can target Lapis and bring it back if we use it for a fusion summon. Armadillo searches us a Gem Knight on normal, and Amber isn't really used that much, it's a Gemini, but we use it to summon out Prisma Aura. Rescue Rabbit can banish itself to summon out 2 level 4 or lower normal monsters from our deck, meaning we can grab out 2 Lapis with it. Quartz, when our opponent controls a monster, which they will do through Black Garden, we can discard this card, set a Fusion Continuous spell from our deck, meaning we can set either Brilliant Fusion or Scatter Fusion, and if we have Black Garden up, Scatter Fusion is a branded fusion, meaning that we can special summon using monsters from our deck instead of our hand or graveyard. Same thing with Brilliant Fusion, it also works the same, we can summon using materials from our deck, which is of course excellent. Block Dragon to allow us to search more stuff out and special summon things, it's very good. Reborn for extension. Terraforming, if we want to find our Black Garden, it's our 4th copy. Gem Knight Fusion, this is our fusion spell that we're gonna use most of the time. It can recycle itself back into our hand by banishing a Gem Knight monster from our graveyard, meaning that we can fusion summon a lot in a single turn. Unexpected Die allows us to summon out a Lapis. Black Garden, covered that, and the fusion spells, I covered that. So let's get into the extra deck. Seraphonite allows us to normal summon an extra time on our turn, which can be very good. Sometimes we need to go into Seraphonite if we don't open Black Garden. Lazuli, our main FTK enabler. Prismora, target for Gemknight Fusion. It can send a Gemknight card from our hand to the graveyard to destroy a card on the field, so if there's any problematic cards and we're going second, this can be quite good. Zirconia is a big guy, that's pretty much it. Lady Rose Diamond was recently released. Once per opponent's turn, the first time a Gemknight monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, it is not destroyed. And during our turn, when our opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, we can banish a Gemknight card from our graveyard, target a face-up card our opponent controls, and destroy it, so it's removal. Master Diamond, again, is our FTKer. He copies Lazuli's effect to be able to FTK. Lady Brilliant Diamond allows us to, once per turn, you can send one Gemknight monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Gemknight Fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. If we don't open Black Garden, this can be quite important to be able to FTK, but I'll show a replay of that at the end of the video. Garden Rose Maiden, I've covered that. It is a Black Garden searcher. Gemknight Phantom Quartz allows us to add a Gemknight card from our deck if it's link summoned. So that means that we can search out Gemknight Fusion, for example, or any of our Gemknight monsters. And then we can pay 1000 life points, fusion summon one Gemknight Fusion monster from our extra deck by shuffling fusion monsters in our possession listed on it into your deck that are banished or in the graveyard, but it can't attack directly. So we can use our graveyard or our banish zone to be able to fusion summon an extra time, which again can be quite important if we don't open Black Garden. Cross Cheap, this is also an extender. If we have this out and we fusion summon to one of its arrows, it allows us to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from our graveyard, so it's just more extension. And then finally, Curios allows us to send a card from our deck to the graveyard. Generally doesn't come up that much, but can be pretty useful. And that's gonna wrap up the deck list. Now we're gonna take a look at a FTK combo. We open Black Gardens, we're just immediately going to activate that. Use Unexpected Die to summon out a Lapis. That is going to activate Black Garden. We're gonna be able to start stacking our opponent's side of the field with stuff. We can then discard this Brilliant Rose and send this Gemknight Fusion to the graveyard, which again is going to activate Black Garden. We can use its effect to send one of the Lapis to the graveyard, and then go into a Phantom Quartz. Phantom Quartz again is going to activate. We're going to grab something off of it. Let's see what we get. We do have a normal still, so we could grab something like... Could grab Phantom Quartz here. Just Quartz, actually. Rose token goes out, we activate Quartz to send it, grab a Scatter Fusion from our deck. Scatter Fusion is of course a branded fusion, allowing us to send stuff to summon something. This one for the extra normal. We can also grab Crystal Rose to the graveyard. That's gonna be a little bit important later. Seraphonite goes out, Black Garden activates, and Quartz activates. Because we used it as fusion material, it allows us to grab back a material from our grave. I'll grab back the Brilliant Rose. Rose goes back up to hand, token goes out. Phantom Quartz is going to summon a Lapis. We'll use the Quartz and the Lapis. And then Black Garden is going to activate yet again. And then we can activate Lapis to send a... let's see. We can send another Lapis here, but I don't think we'll need it, so I'll just send the regular little Lapis, deal 4000 damage to our opponent, activate Gemknight Fusion, banish the Quartz, grab back the Fusion, activate the Fusion, go into Master Diamond. We'll use this, and yeah, it doesn't really matter what we use here. Just need to go into it, Garden is going to activate, but we've filled our opponent's side of the field, so we can banish the Lazuli. And then activate the effect. Send one of these bad boys, Lazulis, another one, grab the Lapis back. Gemnite Fusion. Grab it back yet again. And then for the final time, we're gonna fusion summon for the Master Diamond using the 3 Gemnites that we have on the field. Boom. Garden again is gonna activate. Master Diamond is going to banish the Lazuli, and then we shall send the final monster from our deck to the graveyard, and there you have it. That's as easy as it gets. It's pretty consistent, it gets its FTK pretty well, it can even play through a decent bit of interruption, so yeah, that's the FTK. I'll see you soon with my final thoughts. So final thoughts, this deck is kind of crazy actually, it very consistently FTKs our opponent. Now FTKs aren't the most fun and interactive gameplay, maybe a lot of people think that FTKs are really boring. I kind of agree, but I do like to just be able to FTK. If you're trying to push ranks, this isn't a bad deck to do it with. It's alright in the price department. It's not super expensive, we don't need that many URs, and it does FTK consistently, meaning that if we open well, we can always just win immediately with a little bit of luck. This deck does get completely destroyed by Nibiru, of course. So keep that in mind, be careful. But other than that, it's an excellent deck. I like it a lot and I recommend you guys just checking it out. Really the big expensive things here are the 3 Rescue Rabbit and the 3 Master Diamond. I'm happy to be back again from being sick. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But yeah, still feel kind of rough, but I'm gonna try to put out some videos this week on the decks that got support recently in the new pack, and Gemnite happened to be one of them, so I decided to start off with that one. Like, comment, and subscribe, of course. Comment if there's anything you felt that I missed in the video, or if there's any decks you want to see in the future. Like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more upcoming content. I'll see you soon. Bye.